Welcome to the ITSP Magazine Podcast Network, a modern, innovative multimedia platform, broadcasting ideas and connecting minds. Every company has a story to tell, from the small startup to the large enterprise, and everything in between. This is one of them. We hope you enjoy this brand story conversation.
And here we are, ready for another 7 minutes on ITSP Magazine with a new short brand story. I'm here at the HITRUST Collaborate conference, and we're going to talk about cyber insurance. I'm thrilled to have Josh LaDeau on from Trium. Josh, how are you?
Doing well, thanks for having me.
Good to have you on. Maybe just a quick word about Trium and what you offer.
I'd be happy to. Trium Cyber is a collective of service companies and Syndicate 1322. We co-founded the first monoline cyber syndicate, difficult to do at the time with a lot of the activity in the market. And we've been building out a platform ever since. We write, Trium writes cyber property as well as E&O and miscellaneous within the book.
Perfect. Thanks for that. So you just finished a panel with a few colleagues working with HITRUST to deliver new products to the market. Can you describe from your perspective what some of the challenges are from two perspectives? One from the buyer of policies and from yours, the perspective of delivering product.
Yeah, I think they're married, luckily, so it's really a single story, and I think it starts with data. The insurance industry is based on data. Actuarially speaking, everything that we do from pricing and analyzing what questions we should ask really comes from the data pool we have. Today in cyber, contrary to say property or life insurance, the volume of data is quite small and the validity of that data is questionable because the threat landscape is changing so quickly. And so what we've seen is really expansion of applications. They're all different within the market. There might be 70 to 100 different applications out there. The quality of data in the unstructured fashion really doesn't allow us to acquire and engage with that data in the way we have other lines. The partnership with HITRUST at its first point really is access to data that doesn't exist today in a structured format. But beyond that, and so critically important to our industry, is that third-party attestation of the exposure. So that doesn't exist today. We're reliant on an application and just a signature. The questions aren't necessarily clear even in terms of what should be answered yes or no. And so there's a lot of challenges that are answered by this partnership. Consistency of data, structured in nature, secure transmission of that data. Again, today, the data is all over the place. Clients fill out an application. It goes to 70 different markets. It's all in clear text email. So there's a lot of opportunity for differentiation here. Those are some of the core initial elements of a solution there.
And from a buyer's perspective, I know it's been a roller coaster. You mentioned this on the panel. I think at the moment it's really hard for companies to get a policy, to even get a look at, to get a policy. And so they need to put their best foot forward. They need to do it in a way that demonstrates to you that they're a good bet, right? And you have to understand what a good bet looks like. And you talked a bit about losses. So how do you approach that, leveraging the HITRUST R2 and the data that comes from that to maybe help bring this together?
Yeah, the HITRUST RDS and the access to that data, so tying right into what I said before, easy access, consistent nature of data, right? The framework is the framework and the responses to that framework are gonna be uploaded into that system. And so we get a consistency of output. That is gonna be much different than us receiving the application blindly from the carrier. Again, this question doesn't sound quite like the question on another application. They're trying to address the same issue. Rather than that, we get uniformity each and every time across the clients through the R2 model. And so that in and of itself is critical. They are then also able to articulate in that process their sort of robust investment in a way that an application doesn't allow, because there's something like 600, 700 data points as part of the R2 environment. Even the biggest applications in cyber today are probably 100 questions and not necessarily targeted or updated in line with what's important. And that living, breathing model of HITRUST and that continuing sort of assessment of what is relevant in an R2 certification and the environment's changing, all of that sort of being automated, and we're able to collect that data on the back end, partner with HITRUST to know what it is in the ingestion process. So that's what's going to make it a lot easier for clients to sort of get the quality and volume of data to the insurers, do it in a secure fashion, and allow us some consistency in how we underwrite and approach the business.
And you mentioned, so it'd be easier I think that probably ties to faster as well, right? 'Cause
Absolutely.
delivery is pretty much immediate. You then have what kind of coverage you get and the premiums, so the pricing of it as well. How does having a HITRUST R2 help on that side of things? Better coverage, better premiums.
Absolutely. So we were talked about it a little bit on the panel, but from both the buyer, meaning the large customer, and the vendor perspective, they want to transfer risk consistently. And the reality is there's 130 different cyber policies out there. You don't know what you're getting, and that process of just assessing is pretty dramatic. The idea here is that any of these clients would be getting the same top quality product in the market by virtue of the HITRUST relationship. You mentioned pricing. We look at sort of this is a unique client set, unlike anything else out there. And we certainly are looking at the controls of every organization. We are selective always. But again, what's missing is really that third-party attestation. We're being told something from the client's perspective, and we hope they're saying it correctly, but it may not be. The third-party attestation allows us to have confidence that the responses given by the insurers through the RDS are accurate, they are correct, they represent exactly what we're talking about. And so in that case, we are able to sort of ingest that and assign a dedicated credit of 25% to say the fact that a third party has attested and verified this is true is compelling enough for us to want to give you advantageous pricing and keep you in this risk pool with the HITRUST shared risk facility.
I love it. And in the last few seconds we have, describe working with Trium. You spoke to maturity and a journey. So what's it like working with Trium to achieve this and continue with renewals and whatnot?
Yeah, there should be a seamless process, but what I'd say we have at Trium is really technical acumen that we've applied in a partnership like this. So understanding the nature of the controls, the value of the controls, the investment that you're making and what that really means, its impact to your organization and the reduced probability of an event, a malicious event, and the resiliency that's improved for these controls, that partnership and having somebody who really understands what your investment means and what it took to get there, I think that's one of the most critical aspects of the partnership and allows us to demonstrate that additional value.
Fantastic. Well, Josh, appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for the chat, and that's 7 minutes here on ITSP Magazine. Thank you.